Over the years there had been a couple of once-offs, but the world was first introduced to this, an official four-door Porsche at the Shanghai Motor Show in 2009. As you can imagine, the Panamera caused quite a stir.
Actually, that's putting it mildly. It was more like a whirlwind of discontent, the majority of which could be attributed to the Panamera's ungainly styling.
So it had a booty, but it wasn't licious. The big question though is, would the ugly duckling still drive like a Porsche? We were at that first international launch in Germany.
Of course, there was ample opportunity to stretch the big Porsche's legs on the famous autobahns, but the Panamera also proved surprisingly at home on twisty country roads.
Oh yes, it was 100% Porsche. The guys in the white coats had certainly done a fantastic job with what is a massive car in the Panamera. So it may not have whipped your head back in the styling department, but it certainly did in the drive.
Hard on the brake, jam it up to the speed. Oh, that's insane.
What's insane is what happens to Marius and Hannes inside the car.
Jam it up to the speed. Oh, that's insane.
But the second generation Panamera is no longer an opinion divider. It looks fantastic.
Perhaps that needs some qualification. It looks fantastic if you happen to be partial to the visual charms of its two-door sibling, because the new Panamera really is as close as you will get to a stretched 911. Come to think of it, that's probably what led Marius to believe that it should also be driven like one.
But it's not just about the looks. Now, even if you are not buying a Panamera Turbo, you're still getting a turbo. Porsche's move to forced induction engines across their entire model lineup is to be found in the Panamera as well. And it's a significant change, I think, in particular if you're buying the entry-level Panameras. In the old days, it was that 3.6 litre V6 naturally aspirated. That's now been replaced by a 3 litre V6 single scroll turbo. Of course, the performance and power is up. 20 kilowatts more powerful and some 50 newton meters more grunt as well. Yes, it's more efficient and the CO2 figures are a lot lower as well. But for us, it's back-to-back turbos. When we drove the first generation Panamera Turbo, it was that 4.8 litre V8 twin turbo. That's no more. It's been replaced by a 4 litre twin scroll V8 turbo. And yes, performance figures are up. It's quite astounding. From 368 kilowatts, it's gone up to 404 kilowatts. And I think most significant though is the torque. That's from 700 up to 770. But it's where it delivers it. I mean, that torque comes through under 2,000 revs per minute. So it is completely drivable. Running with an 8-speed dual clutch, their PDK gearbox is, for me, one of the best gearboxes you can get. And obviously being the turbo, we're sitting in the all-wheel drive as well. But you know, this isn't a fast facts type of car. The Panamera blew me away 6 years ago when I first drove it, and I haven't driven another one since. Getting back into it now, you just fall in love with how amazing this car is and what a good job the Porsche whiz kids have done. It's massive. I mean, we're in the executive spec, which has got a 150mm longer wheelbase. So for me sitting here in the back, great. I've got 110mm extra leg room and I can recline an extra 40mm.
Rear headroom is ample too, and frequent business class travellers will appreciate the fold-out tray tables and individual rear touchscreens, which double as removable tablets. Best news of all is that the driver's cockpit has been rid of the myriad switches found on the previous model, while boot space is even more generous than before.
Fantastic from a luxury perspective. When you drive it, you just don't feel that size. This always feels like a pucker, tiny little Porsche. It is so dynamic to drive. We were really pushing it hard through the mountain passes and through the sweeps. No tire squeal. It's incredible how well set up this car is. Your traction light is hardly ever flashing, even though you're pushing it to the limits of its grip. It is just so drivable, so compact, so Porsche, so flippin' amazing. It makes you wonder why you'd want to drive anything else. You know, I get sad when I see more and more people wanting to drive SUVs because an executive saloon has a special place in my heart. And I'm just so stoked that now the Panamera has 10 derivatives. So clearly people are loving the car and buying it. The Turbo is a 3 million rand car. Now I can't believe I'm going to say this, but that feels like a bargain when you drive this. It's unbelievable. The entry level is probably going to start around the 1.5, 1.6 million rand mark, but you get so much car for your money. Porsche, Panamera, amazing. Good job.